Welcome to the One Life Podcast with Behka White. This is episode 93, The Abyss, the Bouncy Ball, and the Miracle. Recently, I had a conversation with someone I deeply admire and respect, and he asked me this question, quote, "How do you look into the abyss and not become the abyss?" End quote. He went on to explain that in the course of his day, he sees individuals and families in deep pain and suffering, often caused by the people closest to them. He felt that his efforts could not stop the flow of suffering, and no matter how fast he shoveled the snow of hurt, there would be bigger mounds the following day. So again, how do you look into the abyss and not become the abyss? Our conversation caused me to ponder on a divine experience I had with our son Jonah, the last of our sick boys. When he was 10 weeks old, he caught pneumonia. After a near-fatal ER visit when his oxygen tank ran out and a pneumonia-filled chest x-ray, they sent us home from the ER with a few days. This, my friends, was my abyss. Accepting death is manageable, but helplessly waiting for death while my baby suffered unto death was not. I'm going to start here and read a journal entry about the experience. This is after the ER trip and during the excruciating few days. Quote, "Earlier that week, I had taken my kids to the dentist and one had chosen a green bouncy ball with a smiley face on it as a prize. That ball kept bouncing around the house and I swear I even threw it in the trash. It was really an annoying distraction. Now, I sat on the couch holding Jonah as my husband, Rob, walked through the house setting things in order. In my despair, I looked up at him as he walked by and I asked him, 'What do we do now?' He whipped that bouncy ball out of his pocket and with the smiley face pointing my way and in a comical voice he said, 'We put on one of these.' And I laughed out loud. His comic relief was welcome. Yes. Of course, we put on a smiley face. We enjoy him while he's still here. That joy and hope and laughter lasted 29 seconds. When the despair returned, some part of me wanted to turn off his oxygen so he would die on my terms, so I would have some control in a powerless situation. But of course I couldn't. Life is too precious. The next morning, I sat with Jonah on the couch again, rubbing my cheek against his face, smelling him, feeling his weight in my arms, trying to capture all that was him, so I would remember. Suddenly, there was something under my feet, interrupting my thoughts. I bent down and picked it up, and what was it? It was the blasted bouncy ball. My first inclination was to chuck it across the room and watch it ping around everywhere, but something stopped me. Instead, I took it and I put it in Jonah's hand with the smiley face pointing my way, the way Rob had held it a day earlier. And as I did so, in my mind, I heard Jonah say to me, "Mom, this is my last day. Enjoy it." And in a flash of inspiration, it came to me that although Jonah's life was short, and there were so many things he would never get to do, we still had today. And we could make today anything we wanted it to be. He could live a lifetime today. Suddenly, I was filled with joy and excitement, equal and opposite to the pain and despair I had felt moments earlier. Rob, Mariah, Talia, Ty, Sydney, and Jaya all gathered props. We spent the day playing dress-up with him and created scenes of Jonah running a race, dunking a basketball, painting a masterpiece, climbing a tree, being chef, jump roping, pogo sticking, skiing, and on and on. Aunties and cousins came to join the fun. We laughed and we cheered. It was a perfect day. At the end of the day, with our family circled around him, Jonah peacefully took his last breath. His death was still hard and so sad for us. But when we remember his last day, we remember celebrating him, living his lifetime in a day. End quote. I took all the pictures and put them into a book. It's pretty fantastic, actually. And we pull out Jonah's book every year on December 6th. That's his birthday. For the longest time, I couldn't understand what had happened. The pain and anguish was replaced with joy and gratitude. I have asked a million times, how is it done? How can I look into the abyss and not become the abyss? The answer is Jesus Christ. In that moment, the divinity in me connected to him and to his grace, and he showed me a better way. Our family, our children, hold on to that day in the goodness of God and not in the bitterness of death. I call that a miracle. Okay, so back to my friend. I spoke with him a couple days after our initial conversation and asked him how he was doing. He had a different countenance about him. He explained that the day following our conversation, he woke up early, went to work early to be the first one in the office. Without knowing what in the world he was doing, he found himself a silly prop and began greeting everyone as they arrived. This is out of character for him. He said he intentionally chose connection and laughter for his day, and he found it. His circumstances didn't change. He still had to shovel snow mounds of hurt. Even so, the connection and laughter pushed back the abyss. I'd call that a miracle. And so, my friends, the invitation today is this: trust the light. Don't fear the abyss. We will all have to face the abyss a time or two in our day. Let's not pretend it isn't there. It is, and it is real. However, light is stronger than darkness. Christ is the light that we hold up, and he's stronger than the abyss even when we aren't. That, my friends, is how it is done. Until next time, keep living your best life.